Inside a Roman city on the Black Sea coast, a Gothic chieftain is eating dinner with the man who commands the army meant to control him. Outside the walls, thousands of his people are starving. Neither man at that table will admit what happens next was already decided. This is Marcianopolis, and in one night, a dinner party is about to become the opening move of a war that will kill a Roman emperor. Marcianopolis wasn't some forgotten outpost. It was a capital, a walled city of roughly 70 hectares in what's now northeastern Bulgaria, built on Roman roads that connected the Black Sea to the Danube frontier. Emperor Valens had used it as his own military headquarters for years. So when a refugee crisis reached its gates in 376 AD, it didn't reach some minor garrison town. It reached the beating heart of Roman power in the Balkans. Founded under Trajan, and named for his sister, Marcianopolis had grown into one of the wealthiest cities on Rome's northern frontier, with mosaics, villas, an amphitheater, even a house with 21 rooms built around a private courtyard. This was not a city bracing for war. It was a city built on stability. But that stability was about to collide with a crisis moving in from the north, because a new power had appeared beyond the Danube, one the Goths had never faced before. The Huns. Their expansion put unbearable pressure on Gothic communities north of the river. Facing that threat, a group known as the Tervingi, led by two men named Fritigern and Alavivus, did something remarkable. They asked Rome for permission to cross the Danube and settle inside the empire. Valens said yes. On paper it looked like a solution for everyone, new farmers and soldiers for Rome, safety for the Goths. But feeding, housing, and controlling an enormous population of newcomers was something Roman officials on the ground were not prepared to do. According to the Roman historian Ammianus Marcellinus, who wrote about these events as a contemporary, the local commanders Lupicinus and Maximus didn't rise to the crisis, they exploited it. Ammianus accuses them of forcing starving Goths into a brutal trade, exchanging dogs for people, including, he claims, the children of Gothic leaders. This account comes from one source with a clear moral judgment against these men, but even read cautiously, it tells us something important. Trust between Rome and its new arrivals was already breaking before anyone reached Marcianopolis. And that broken trust is exactly what walked through the city gates next, because what happens inside that dining hall in the next few minutes will decide whether Rome and the Goths stay at peace or go to war. Fritigern and Alavivus reached Marcianopolis with their people, and Lupicinus invited the two leaders inside the walls for a banquet while their followers were left outside. While the wine was poured inside, tension boiled over at the gates. The Gothic crowd, hungry and desperate, clashed with the Roman guards, and soldiers were killed. When word reached Lupicinus, he made his choice, ordering the attendants of the Gothic leaders killed right there inside the city. Fritigern, realizing what was happening, convinced Lupicinus to let him leave, promising to calm his people. It worked. He walked out through those gates a free man, and once he reached his own people, there was no calming anything left to do. Did Lupicinus plan this from the start, or did panic turn a failed negotiation into a massacre? Even Ammianus never fully answers the question. Within hours, open revolt spread through the Gothic camp. Lupicinus gathered what forces he had and marched out to crush it before it could grow. About 9 Roman miles from Marcianopolis, the two forces met, and the battle that followed was not close. Ammianus tells us the Roman force was routed, its tribunes killed, its standards captured. He is honest about one thing though, he refuses to give an exact death toll, saying it simply couldn't be counted. Lupicinus survived by fleeing back toward the city he had just marched out of, leaving his army behind him. Here's what the story is not. Marcianopolis itself was not captured or burned that night. The city survived, and kept functioning as a Roman capital for generations afterward, only falling to the Huns much later, in 447. But what happened at Marcianopolis in 376 didn't need to destroy a city to change history. It destroyed something more valuable, Roman control. The revolt spread across Thrace, and 2 years later, on the 9th of August, 378, the war that started with a dinner party ended with a Roman emperor dead on the battlefield at Adrianople. Valens, the same emperor who had approved the Gothic crossing, never lived to see how it ended. So did Lupicinus walk into that banquet already planning murder, or did one bad night spiral out of his control? We will probably never know for certain. Ammianus, our best witness, leaves the question open. What we do know is this: an empire that could move legions across continents couldn't manage a dinner, and that single failure, in one Roman city most people have never heard of, helped set in motion the death of an emperor and the unraveling of Rome's northern frontier. If forgotten turning points like this one are your kind of history, there's another Roman story waiting in the next video, one just as overlooked, and just as consequential. Subscribe if you want to keep finding the moments history almost forgot.